What's up, Raider Nation? Welcome to TRU Raider Podcast. I'm your host, TRU Raider. Now, I'm hitting you right now on my lunch break. You know the deal already. Pulled up to my mother in law's to get on the Wi Fi because there ain't crap for service at my work, man. And I couldn't wait. I was thinking about waiting till I got home tonight, man. But I want to get with the nation and see what's the pulse on the nation. What are you guys feeling about this situation with our head coach? We just hired John Spytek as our GM, which to me so far looks like a very good hiring. Like, I'm actually pretty happy with the idea of John Spytek. It just, the relationship with Brady and just like his history in the NFL, he's been connected to a lot of winning organizations, a lot of good drafts that had his name stamped on it. And yes, I know he wasn't the GM for those, but he's been assistant GM, he's been director of player personnel, he's been a scout. And really, I mean, I'm hearing very good things about his experience. So I'm pretty happy about that so far. But just looking at what's going to happen as head coach is just, it's really kind of, it's so confusing right now, right? Because a lot of us were all in on Ben Johnson, right? We wanted Ben Johnson, and it just kind of wasn't playing out that way. And since we did not end up getting Ben Johnson, it's like, now what for Raider Nation, And some people are talking about Pete Carroll, some people are talking about Todd Monken. Liam Cohen, I guess, signed another deal with the Buccaneers, and so he's going to stay as their offensive coordinator, which is a little bit confusing to me because it kind of seemed like, things kind of broke down. He took himself out of the race for the Jaguars job, and rumor has it that it had something to do with the general manager over there, and then I heard another rumor that, he actually wanted Spytek to be the GM over there and they didn't agree to that. And so then he took himself out of the running. And that's part of why the Jaguars moved on from their general manager. And of course, this is rumor. This isn't sources. That's not, it just stuff people are saying, right? And it's hard to really even get a pulse on like what's what. It's speculation season already, man. The rumor mill is just flying, and that's why I wanted to get with the nation, because it seems to me like it's not out of the realm of possibility for Liam Cohen to end up like having a reconsideration about staying with the Bucks. They said that he's made an agreement to stay there as their OC and get more money, but it might not. I don't know, man. It might not be all that it seems, right? Because I haven't seen anything, and maybe one of you guys can correct me, is I haven't seen anything that he is officially signed on the dotted line to stay there, right? And so he could still be in the running, right? And Liam Cohen really seems like one of those guys that would be a really good fit for us, but also another one would be Todd Monken. And we requested an interview with him, and he hasn't scheduled one. There hasn't been a report of that he agreed to one. We requested one, and I really like the idea of that one. I mean, he hasn't been with the Ravens very long. They're running a very good offense over there under him, and he was also he coached Brock Bowers there in Georgia, right? And so like the whole connection with him and Brock Bowers makes a whole lot of sense to me. But there's other names that are floating, man. The truth, what's going on, man? McCarthy number one or Florida is number two. Need a 5-tier building using people who have experience as head coach. And that's one of the things that kind of came through when it came to Champ Kelly and Antonio Pierce, where Mark Davis said he didn't want to pair a rookie head coach and a rookie general manager. And that makes sense to me, right? And so now that he's hired a general manager who has not been a general manager, and he's not really, I don't consider him to be a rookie. He just hasn't been the main guy yet, right? But he's got a lot of experience. And so a lot of signs point towards them hiring a coach who has NFL experience, right? Ricky White is saying Cliff. And Cliff Kingsbury is one of them guys that is not off the table. He's got a relationship with Tom Brady, right? And a lot of things keep popping up about, oh, the relationship with Tom Brady is what's going to build this staff, and I kind of believe that, honestly, right? I mean, Mark Davis has already proven that he doesn't know where to look or who to hire, and so, being in a situation where Tom Brady can use his connections for these decisions, I mean, it could be part of why the news has been pretty silent around the Raiders, right? The Ben Johnson thing there was a lot of hype around it, and then a lot of us got let down on that, and then they signed Spytech, so it's like, okay, cool, we got something going on, right? There's some movement in the building, but now what, right? What's going on with head coach? There's like, the rumor mill's not swirling, like it's just all speculation at this point. And Cliff Kingsbury right now is the offensive coordinator for the Commanders. And the Commanders offense, they made the Lions offense look like the JV team, you know what I'm saying? Like they looked a whole lot better. And a whole lot of that success has to do with Jaden Daniels. Let's just keep it a buck. Like when I look at Jaden Daniels, man, like he was one of those guys that, like, you watch the film on him. I watched a whole ton of film on him when this channel first started last offseason. And, I was convinced that he was worth trading 3 first rounders, 2 seconds, Devontae Adams, Colton Miller. I was saying throw everything at the Commanders to go and get that pick. And that's not what we did, right? So Jaden Daniels has a lot to do with that success, but Cliff Kingsbury's offense, he was calling the offense over there in USC for Caleb Williams. Now he's calling it over there in Washington for Jaden Daniels. And so a lot of that success is coming from Cliff Kingsbury as well. He's been a head coach in the past, right? Cliff Kingsbury was the head coach of the Cardinals, and it really, I mean, while they had a good offense, it didn't really turn out so good, right? And a lot of times people don't want to give somebody a second opportunity at a head coaching job in the NFL. And personally, like, if they said the Raiders have hired Cliff Kingsbury, for one, I wouldn't believe it until they gave confirmation of, we need to see a video of him signing the paperwork or some shit, right? Because he was supposed to be our offensive coordinator this last season, and then it all got announced, and then all of a sudden, in the 11th hour, they're like, just kidding, Cliff Kingsbury is actually going to the Commanders, and all of us got let down. We ended up with Luke Getsy. So, but if we got confirmation that yes, Cliff Kingsbury is now the new head coach of the Raiders, I'd be happy about that. Honestly, I would. It would show a lot of promise for what could happen with this offense. Billy Davis, what's up? What's up, True Raider Nation? True. No name. What's up, Glenn? We are not getting Shedeur. I don't know about that, man. I think a lot of signs point to us getting Shedeur. Whether we get Deion Sanders or not, and that's something that really has to get revisited, right? Because the beat writers for the Raiders, they said Ben Johnson's pretty much a lock. We're going to get Ben Johnson. He's going to be the head coach. Like, we're the front runners, blah, blah, blah. And then it turned out all of that was false. Like, they made it seem like it was already a lock, and it was not even close. Honestly, Ben Johnson probably just used us for negotiation to get a better payday, But yeah, so our beat writers also said that we had zero interest in Deion Sanders. And we can't really believe that. We can't really believe the beat writers right now. If you go to Hondo Carpenter's page, which usually, like, Hondo puts out some great content, right? But his comment sections are like crazy right now, man. People are just gassing it. Like, they're just like, the shade that they are throwing on Hondo Carpenter is real, man. They are really, really attacking that dude in his comments, man. And I think it's really because of the Ben Johnson thing, right? I haven't gone to go check like Vinny B's stuff, but they're probably doing the same to him on X, right? So yeah, though, I mean, I wouldn't count Deion out. I don't think that he's the front runner in any sense. I think the only reason that we would bring in Deion Sanders is if Tom Brady and Mark Davis are really sold on Shedeur Sanders and they don't want to trade up for him. Because besides that, it's like, what are we going to do at QB? A lot of people are speculating that we're going to get Pete Carroll and reunite him with Russell Wilson. Now, if that happens, I don't really know um, how I would feel about that. I don't really like Russell Wilson personally, Mr. Unlimited, Broncos, let's ride. Like I don't like that dude. I really don't. Is he a good quarterback? Yes, he is. Is he better than Aiden O'Connell? By far. Did he look really good on the Steelers? Yes. Did he look like trash on the Broncos? Yes. So I mean, if we ended up with Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson, I'm not going to be mad about that at all. Gabriel, Cliff wasn't calling the plays at USC. Oh yeah, that's right. He was the quarterback coach over there. Lincoln Riley was the play caller. You were right on that. I was definitely wrong on that statement. But I mean that offense over there with the Commanders is clicking, man. They are looking good. But like I'm telling you, man, I give a lot of the credit to that to Jaden Daniels. I really do. So, like Cliff Kingsbury, if he came over to the Raiders, they would. The only way that I think that Cliff Kingsbury would even consider leaving the Commanders right now for that would be if there was just some solid plan already put into place of like, look, we are getting Cam Ward or Shador Sanders or one of these young quarterback prospects, which would really put him in a position where he could prove, hey, it's not just Jaden Daniels, it's me. But the Commanders, man, I have a feeling that I don't know, man. I think that they stand a good chance of ending up in the Super Bowl, and I'm just kind of like thrown because the Lions lost because I was really thinking that the Lions were going to be the team to be able to knock the Chiefs out of the playoffs. So I'm really hoping that the Bills get it done over there because I do not want to see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl again, man. Billy Davis is saying Todd Monken. So Todd Monken, this dude has a relationship already with Brock Bowers from Georgia. He hasn't been an NFL coordinator for very long, right? But I know that Mitchell Renz is over there talking really, really good about the dude. And it's got me thinking, man, like, I don't know. I think that really the thing that I want to see the most is that we get an offensive minded head coach, right? Somebody who is going to call the offense. Because what I don't want to see is us be in a position where, we have an offensive coordinator who does well and then gets poached by another team, just like what happened to the Lions, right? The Lions lost their offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, in one offseason immediately after getting eliminated from the playoffs. So, that's bad, man. But I saw this thing on Facebook today, man, that said that the Raiders have never had a coordinator poached from them for a head coaching position. Never. And that's not good, man. That is not good. Cedric is saying that first choice Cliff Kingsbury. And Cliff Kingsbury, I mean, that's just something that us Raider fans are speculating, right? Because yeah, there's been some kind of connection to that. Like, okay, he has a relationship with Tom Brady and this and that, but I haven't seen anything where we've requested an interview or anything like that. And the only thing that I heard was that Cliff Kingsbury said that he wasn't even going to entertain anything like that until after the playoffs, which is appropriate, right? He needs to stay focused. It's pretty obvious that the Lions coordinators were not focused. They were already thinking about their next job, and they totally forgot about the playoffs, and it showed, you know. No name, we need an O line or else nothing else matters. No name, I keep seeing people in the comments trashing our offensive line, but I personally don't think our offensive line is that bad. I think that the key weak point of our offensive line is Andre James at center. And if you get Andre James out of center and you put Jackson Powers Johnson to actually play center, not keep switching him over to guard. Jordan Meredith had great numbers at left guard. Colton Miller started off the year really rough, but then as things went up, on with the season, then it looked like he was starting to get healthier, and he looked way better. So the whole, from the center to left, all is locked up, right? The problem that I really think that we have is DJ Glaze was a rookie right tackle, and he did pretty good, right? I mean, he did better than Thayer Mumford, and I liked him more in Jermaine Illuminor. But I think that we could either upgrade there, or as he goes into year two, he might look a little bit better. But Dylan Parham was drafted by Dave Ziegler and Josh McDaniels, and he's looking like a liability, man. And at first I liked Parham, man, but it's kind of getting to a point where it just kind of seems like he's undersized and just not really being able to get the job done, especially him next to Andre James. That's a recipe for disaster. So I would like to see us, bring in a right guard. I think if we got a right guard, it would help that whole right side of the line. I think that DJ Glaze would be able to hold his own if there was a better right guard standing next to him. Um, 831 Raider Monken is a great option. I'm telling you, man, Monken is starting to sound like one of the better options. The thing is that like he doesn't have a whole lot of head coaching experience, right? And that kind of throws me because yeah, you got to start somewhere, but the whole rookie head coach, rookie general manager thing, I don't know that we would go that route unless, Tom Brady overrides Mark Davis on that, right? Because Mark Davis said that he didn't want to do that last year. And, he could change his mind, but it would probably be that Brady changes his mind if that ends up any different at all. Anthony, what's good, man? Salute, salute. Raiders, what's good, man? See, no name. We need a right guard, right tackle, QB, running back, number one, wide receiver, and a corner. We do need a lot. We do need a lot, because the running backs we have obviously ain't it. Amir Abdullah and Sincere McCormick, yeah, they looked all right. And I think part of that was that Luke Getzey's running scheme was awful. And so under Scott Turner, the running scheme got a little bit better. And then the offensive line got put in place better. Jackson Powers Johnson once he went in at center, our running game improved immediately. But none of them are running back one, but there's a very deep running back class. We could pick up a starting running back, even third or fourth round. Um, and I think that really the pick that we traded for Devontae Adams would be ideal to get a running back. I think that that's a good spot. I like Cam Scatterboo, man. That dude he's a dog. I don't think he's near the best running back in this class, like how he says, but he's pretty damn good, man. But there's several, man. I mean, I've been running a couple of mocks here and there, man, and there's a lot of names in there that I really like that they fall to the third, man. So I'm interested, man. I'm interested. But yeah, the quarterback, we got to get that. We absolutely have to get that. But if you look at who was calling our offense, right? Luke Getzey had the run scheme was not working. And a big part of that was we had Garner Minshew, right? Because they were stacking the box against Garner Minshew just like how they did against Jimmy Garoppolo, because they knew that he was not going to beat them with his arm. He can't see over the offensive line. And so they were very strategic in the way that they attacked Garner Minshew, which totally killed our run game, which I'm kind of... It makes me wonder about how Zeus would have ran in Scott Turner's offense, but also Zeus has no vision, man. He just has no vision. And for being what was he, a fourth round pick? And he's already had 2 years in the NFL. It's like if he doesn't have vision at that point, it's like why are we even going to mess with him? So I do think that we'll have an easier time getting a running back than anybody else. But if we end up with a upgrade at quarterback, I think depending on who's calling our offense, it's going to make it to where the running game opens up a bit, right? And part of what opened up the running game as well is Aiden O'Connell, because he has a better arm than Gardner Minshew. It's just is what it is. But yeah, wide receiver. I'm hoping that I don't think that we're going to be able to get Higgins or anything, but I'm hoping that we pick up somebody in the draft that's pretty decent. And corner, man, Jack Jones is a liability. I like Jack Jones, but especially with Antonio Pierce being gone, I think Jack Jones' days are numbered, man. And Nate Hobbs, he's such an injury liability, and I don't even know if we're going to bring him back. So we might need two corners. And some of these younger guys might be able to step up into that role because, I mean, it looked like Jacorian Bennett was like not going to do anything. And then year two, he came in and he was a lockdown corner one, man. So, there's a couple of these things that I think that we're going to be able to clean up pretty decently. But really, what matters right now is who's our head coach, who's calling the plays, and who's under center. Man. I like pinto beans. Why did you already eat next year's calories? God damn, man. I shouldn't even read that. That's fucked up. That is fucked up. What I usually say is I'm so fat because every time I bang your mom, she makes me a sandwich. Raider G. I'm all for Carroll if he can bring in LaFleur or Sala. If not, bring in Kingsbury and elevate Rob Leonard to DC. Oh, yeah, I mean, Carroll, they keep saying that Pete Carroll, the whole thing with him is that he's going to be able to bring in the right staff and even his successor, things like that. And I could see that, man. And Pete Carroll will give us, I think that he could put us in a position where we're in the right direction and rebuilding the proper way. And then whoever ends up taking over for him, like it would make the job more attractive, right? Because all of a sudden we'd be in a better position than we are now. Because right now it's like we have a huge turnover with coaches, with GMs. Our quarterback room has been a mess ever since letting go of Derek Carr. Like it's been disgusting, man. So I think that's going to be a rough one. And it's all I mean, he he was on the list to interview for head coach, but like I don't know that they ever really considered him as the head coach. And it's really hard to tell like what went wrong with the Jets, right? Was it Aaron Rodgers? Was it solid? Like, who's to blame over there? Billy Davis says Ollie Gordon. Yeah, Ollie Gordon keeps hitting there in the later rounds. Scatterboo, what's his name? I want to say it's Singleton. There's a couple of them, man. Judkins. Judkins has been falling to around 70. But the mock drafts, man, they change as soon as like after the combine. All of a sudden, it's like dudes that were falling to like the fourth, fifth round are like going in the top of the second and stuff. So yeah, I never really trust those too much, man. Let's see, Chris Raiders Full Chris, what's up, man? Just tuning in. That's good, man. I only got a couple more minutes left on my lunch, man, but I wanted to get with you guys. Um, let's see. 831 Raider, what are your thoughts on Spags? His name has been floated around again. Spags, what was going on with Spags? I heard something about Spags earlier today, and I feel like it was in connection to the Jaguars, but, I mean, or was that Scangarillo? Man, I'm already getting all twisted up with all this stuff, man. I mean, I don't really have too much knowledge on Spags, honestly, man. So I'm not even gonna speculate. See, Mark, what's going on? Cohen, Cliff, or Brady? We missed on Johnson. Why change course? Get a young, creative offensive mind to go with a new QB. And I really like that. I like the idea of a young offensive mind. Um, Brady, the offensive coordinator for the Bills, I mean, they're clicking over there, So all three of those names, Cohen, Cliff, Kingsbury, or Brady, I'm going to be happy with any of those. It'd be a little bit weird to have Brady and Brady, but, they could be the Brady bunch. You know what I'm saying? No name. We need an offensive coordinator from college. No more recycled trash, and that's part of why I really like Todd Monken, because he just came up from college in 2023 to the Ravens, and now he has offensive coordinating experience in the NFL. And some of these aren't recycled trash, right? Like Brady from the Bills. Like when you have an offensive coordinator that's doing well in their position, instead of somebody that's getting fired and then you pick them up, it's like you have somebody that, like, hey, you're doing great as a coordinator, we want to promote you to a head coach over here. And that's really the way that I'd like to see it get done. And really, if we go young head coach, young GM, and we're like one of the youngest teams in the NFL, like let them grow, man. Let them grow. Get a rookie quarterback. James Furpo was good. Raiders. What's happening, man? Oh man. See, Anthony, Jaden has a great chance on Sunday, but if he does win, he's too young to beat a Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. Phenomenal rookie year, though. Yeah, I mean, it'd be a great storyline, though. You know what I'm saying? And I would love to see it. You know, because I don't really, all of, like, my wife's team, my all my family, man, all their teams are out. And so it's like at this point, the only thing I have to root for is for the Chiefs to lose. So I would love it if it was like the Bills and the Commanders in the Super Bowl. That's what I'd like to see. And then at that point, I don't even care who wins, man. Josh Allen, go for it, man. Jaden Daniels, go for it. As long as it's not Patrick Mahomes. Mark just subscribed. Great content. Hey, I appreciate that, man. We are on the road to 1,000. We're getting closer every day. I'm getting excited, man. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in. I got to get going, man. I got to drive back to my work. I'm parked outside my mother-in-law's right now because it's the closest Wi-Fi that I can get to my work. Um, but yeah, I'm grateful for all of you guys tuning in, and I'll be live at some point this weekend, man. I don't really have a schedule set yet, man. And I keep telling you guys I'm going to work on that. But life is busy, man. Life has just been busy. And so I've been trying to do Saturday mornings. That seems to be working out pretty good. I'm going to keep trying to do that. Raider 7528, what's good, man? You hopping up in the building. Haven't seen you in a minute, man. Salute. But yeah, I'm on my way out. Like always, I love you, nation. I'll catch you on the next one.